Welcome back to the SketchCast podcast. I'm Milky, and we got
K.O. Here comes K.O.
Yay! And today we are going to talk about art school. I guess mainly K.O. is going to talk about art school because K.O. is in art school. But I got some stuff to say from when I took art classes at community college.
Heck yeah!
But K.O.
Me.
You.
We're never gonna get better at this. Okay. So rundown of what we're gonna do. I think we're first gonna talk about our experiences in, just our experience with art school and education, because there's a lot that goes into it. A lot of different things happen depending on, where you're at in terms of art school, or, different levels, like high school, actual art school, summer classes, whatever.
Right.
And then we will talk about our opinions on art school, if they are necessary or not. And then we can talk about, I guess at least I will talk about some art college tips, because I know a lot of you guys are probably in the midst of, either choosing art school, or which one to go to, or whether you even want to go. So I am here to help. We are here to help. We have the knowledge. We are kind of mostly professionals. I will say right now, I am currently a junior in college. I'm getting a fine arts degree or a BFA in art and animation. So that's where I'm at. So I haven't, graduated, so I'm sure someone who's graduated is going to have, slightly different opinions or a different perspective than me. But I'm here to help you guys with everything I've got. Heck yeah.
Yes, I mean, we may not be professionals, but, you're a professional art school goer, so... Yeah, we're professionals. We know exactly what we're doing. We are perfect.
We're gods.
So...
Cut that.
So... Cut that out.
Not egotistical, I swear. I am. I'm a narcissist.
An absolute baller way to start an episode. We are narcissists.
Welcome to the SketchCast podcast. We're narcissists.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so my general experience, I'm going to start from the very, very beginning. High school art classes. Okay, so I kind of went to a smaller high school, not crazy small, but not giant public school. I think we had 100 people in my graduating class or so. I have in my notes that my high school art class was mid. That's all it says, mid. And it kind of was. Yeah, it kind of sucked. I mean, it wasn't necessarily bad, especially if you were wanting to get into art for the first time. I know that those art classes taught a lot of the basics, but coming in as someone who'd been drawing for 2 years in middle school and then starting in high school, it was bad. It really didn't help. It was kind of just here's some projects, or pick a project and work on it. And that was essentially it. There wasn't a lot of teaching, which kind of sucked. It was basically I don't know, I kind of just had to teach myself in terms of that. Which is fine. It's nice to be able to work on your own projects, but I didn't really get a lot.
That sounds like most high school art classes.
Yeah, there really wasn't a lot. So I did a lot of stuff I turned to YouTube, anatomy classes, which also I'm going to do an entire YouTube video on the different just how weird anatomy tutorials on YouTube are, because they are. It picks one little body type, usually typical anime body, and it's it's the blocks. It's not actual anatomy. It drives me insane. Anyway,
right.
So
that's another episode.
It's fine. We're not going to talk about it. Yeah, and also I think this was just my school, but it was weirdly constricting. I think I talked about this in the last episode, where they were yeah, you can't draw sad people. It was,
oh, right, you did.
It was so weird. So, not only was I, not really learning anything, but also, I couldn't even draw what I wanted to draw all the time. It was so weird. But that's where my Saturday art class came in. Since I wasn't really getting much out of that art class, one of my friends, who was also an artist, was hey, I do this, Saturday art class thing that's just like hosted in a little comic shop if you want to stop by. And I was like, yes, absolutely, 100%. And I went to that like all 4 years. It was so nice. For one, it was like just nice to be surrounded by other people who like really, really cared about art. Because that was the other thing with like, high school art classes. Like half the people in there are just there for like to get their elective credit and then be done.
Right.
Yeah. Which is like, can be kind of discouraging, honestly. I think being in an environment with like other creative people who like are passionate and like really want to like be working on what they're working on can like also motivate you, and it's like really fun. I was actually telling Milky this earlier, like off the podcast, but I'm working on one of my friends' like films, like his capstone film project. Like I'm helping him with that, and like just being on that, like helping him with that set and like that entire film has made me like so excited and pumped to do my capstone film next semester. Like, I don't know, just being in the like with other creative people just like gets you really hyped to do creative things. It's so nice. But yeah, Saturday art class was great. It was kind of just like they would give us like a little prompt each week and we would draw that. And honestly, like you wouldn't think that would help like a crazy amount, but it kind of did. Like it forced me out of my comfort zone, and I was learning new things like every single week, whether it was just like, oh, I'd never thought about how to draw like a dog before. I don't know, that's really basic. I'm sure I drew a dog at least once. But like something I'd never drawn before, like I remember one time we had to draw like the swamp thing, like that old film. Like we had to draw that thing.
What?
It's like a swamp monster film. It's like I don't know, we had yeah, just picture like a spooky swamp creature. That's the best I can do.
Awesome. Nice.
Sorry.
No, what? You're good.
Yeah, picture like just a swamp creature. I'd never thought about how to draw a swamp creature, much less like a swamp in general. So just giving us like prompts like that really helped me like broaden little bits of knowledge in terms of art. Because also at the time I wasn't really like using reference that much, and that was one of the things that class really helped me to do, was like use reference. Like, look up photos for everything, whether it's like as simple as like an earring on a character or like the entire character itself. Like look up references. It helps so much. And also one of the best things I learned from that class is my teacher told us to not put up your own art like on your wall, because then you like subconsciously repeat your own art, and which like isn't necessarily bad, but it's gonna mean you're repeating like the mistakes that you make as well. So like if you tend to draw like arms out of place or something, then like you're gonna keep doing that if you're looking at arms out of place all the time. But if you put up like other art, like from I don't know why Michelangelo came to mind, but like old Renaissance artist or like whatever other artist you really, really like, just stuff that gets you inspired, then you're going to be repeating that into your own art subconsciously in a good way. So that's cool. Woo! But yeah, that was most of my high school. I did actually go to, very briefly, it was a 2-week camp at an actual art school. It was actually SCAD. I don't know why I'm like trying to like hide it. I went to a SCAD summer camp, which, for those of you who don't know, is like one of the more popular art schools in the US. I think they actually have campuses in like Hong Kong and Italy, maybe? Question mark. But yeah, they're located in Atlanta and Savannah, Georgia. Pretty cool school. I don't go there, but I went to a SCAD summer class there, which, again, like the thing about being surrounded by creative people, that was the first time I was surrounded by like other animators and like people who really loved comics and like, like the exact same interests that I had, and it was so nice. Oh my gosh. Like I learned so much in that one little thing, and honestly, I think that camp was what made me really, really want to go to art school more than anything. Like I got that little taste of it and I was like, ooh, I really want to do this. Oh my gosh. 'Cause like in my mind before, I was like, okay, yeah, I want to go to art school, but like I wasn't like super crazy pumped about it. But after that, I was like, I am going, period. Like I have to go. This is the best thing ever. Um, and there was a lot of good stuff I learned there too. It was basically like, I don't know if SCAT still does this. I would assume they do, but I know it is kind of on the pricey side. I had to choose between that or like my school was doing a New York trip at one point, and so I had to skip out on the New York trip, which honestly I don't regret. That like that class was so good. I love it so much. But yeah, it was just really nice like being in that sort of like not professional setting, but like getting that little bit of what art school would be like with like, teachers who also know what they're talking about and like care about the work and are actively teaching you like art stuff instead of what I was doing in high school, which was kind of passive,
Mm-hmm.
And that was like, I remember that was where I first learned about doing like silhouettes for character design, which, if you don't know, it's really, really helpful if you're doing character design to make like a bunch of silhouettes of your character before you try and actually draw them, because then you kind of get like the shape language down and you see like what's gonna look best, especially in like an animation or like video game design setting. I mean, it works fantastic for illustration, but there's so many different styles in illustration. You don't necessarily have to have a character stand out. But, yeah, sorry. Small side tangent. Character design silhouettes are fantastic. 10 out of 10. Highly recommend, like, looking into that kind of stuff if you are into character design.
There's our art tip for the day.
Yeah. There's your one art tip. You're fed. Go home. No, I'm kidding.
That's all you get. All Episode over.
Now we're going to talk for ages about school. Anime. Dude, oh my gosh, I get, never mind, actually. I was about to go on like an entire side tangent about Hello Kitty and Vocaloid, and we're not gonna do that today. We have a podcast to record. I'm so caffeinated episode. Right now. I don't know if you could tell. Ooh, energy is through the roof. Let's go.
Dude, I wish.
No, Milky. Let me share some of my energy with you.
Thank you. I just soaked it up. It's all
good. Good. But yeah, character design silhouettes, fantastic. I use them all the time for any sort of character I tend to do, especially with, like a shape language, like, circles are round for friendly and like squares are like more tough, blah, 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 whatever. Doing silhouettes with that in mind, like, really, really helps. So that was either sophomore or junior year of high school. I can't remember. I have the memory of a dying goldfish. But senior year, I started actually, like, preparing for college. And at the time, I didn't know which college I was going to go to. So I did end up, like, doing one of those CalArts sketchbooks. I don't know if you've ever seen, like, YouTube videos of those. Like,
I've watched so many hours of those CalArts sketchbooks.
They're so good.
I used to just watch them on loop, study the crap out of them. I was like, I know I'm never going to CalArts, but I just want to be able to draw like this, please.
Oh my gosh, that's kind of what it was. I think in my head, I knew I wouldn't, like, not necessarily get into CalArts, but also CalArts is crazy expensive for no reason. So, like, I knew we couldn't afford it. I think I just wanted to, like, see if I could get in. So I did end up, like, studying a bunch of, like, CalArts sketchbooks that got accepted and, like, trying to copy that. And, dude, I improved so much in that, like, little time period. Yeah. Like, it's insane. I've got the, like, giant sketchbook tour YouTube video coming out where I, like, look through all my sketchbooks. I'm so excited. It's, like, almost done. I'm, like, almost done with editing. It's such a, like, mammoth of a video. Oh, my gosh. It's taken me so long.
Yeah.
But yeah, I go through, like, all my sketchbooks, and you can see, like, the, just, like, the way I, like, jump an improvement from, like, the sketchbook right before the CalArts one to, like, the one right after the CalArts one. It's, like, a little insane. But, yeah, so doing that, and I think a lot of it was, once again, like, pushing myself outside of my comfort zone, because, like, looking through those sketchbooks, there was a lot of people doing, like, figure drawing. I think that was the first time I had ever done figure drawing. I don't know why I never had before, but, like, I did figure drawing for the first time, and, like, dude, figure drawing is so, so good if you are, like, drawing people, or if you want to learn, like, real anatomy and, like, character design. Do figure drawing. Figure drawing is fantastic. There's a lot of...
I love anime.
Yeah, there's a lot of really good, like, sites that will get you, like, free figure drawing stuff. And also a lot of really good sites with, like, filters in case you don't want to look at naked people or something. Or you can, like, choose the gender,
Yeah.
whatever. Like, there's a lot of really good sites out there. They're not too hard to find. I wish I could remember some of the names off the top of my head, but I haven't.
Line of Action.
Line of Action? Oh, Line of Action! I've used that one! Yes! Line of Action is so good.
I love Line of Action.
Yes!
My favorite.
Yes!
Also the only one I know.
I remember it was like Line of Action and one other that I would use all the time, but I can't remember what they were. But yeah, like, doing those sketchbooks, I, like, went into figure drawing for the first time. I was, like, trying to figure out, like, or not figuring out, but I was, like, drawing the skeletons of, like, people and animals and doing, like, drawing entire dance routines or, like, animations on my sketchbook, essentially. And that was, like, the first time I'd ever done that. And, like, I improved so much in that short amount of time. And I think it was because I was, like, I don't know, I was just trying to be, like, really, really good and, like, make the best thing that I could. And, like, in doing so, I, like, got better. I mean, like, I feel like I'm stating the obvious. You try hard and you get better. Wow. What groundbreaking news. But, you know, I don't know. It just, like, it worked really, really well. And then I choose my school. Wow, this is the next thing in my little timeline of events. College. I go to college. Wow, that was in 2020. Yeah, I got into the art school that I wanted, and I went there. I ended up not even applying for Cal Arts, which is kind of funny. I just chose the school that I wanted, and I was like, I don't really care anymore. So I didn't even apply. I should have. I don't think I would have gotten in, honestly. Like, I don't know if you still look at, like, those sketchbook tours at all, but I feel like every year they get more insane with, like, the accepted and unaccepted ones. Like, it's a little crazy. Last time I went through them, like, I looked at the unaccepted, I was like, what do you mean? What part of this is, like, not accept? Huh? But also I know there's a lot more that goes into, like, the application process than just the sketchbook, so, you know, that might not have been the problem. Anyway, that's a random side tangent. Cal Arts could be, like, its own subject, like, on its own, but also neither of us have experience with it, so. Anyway, I go to the school that I want to go to. It's been fantastic. I am still there. And this is kind of where I get into, I don't know, like, I have, like, my tips for art college, but I also, like, kind of want to save some of that for later. I will say that, like, a couple of the things that I have found very, like, to be very effective in art school is, or at least choosing art school, is, wait, no, I'll save that for later. I'm good. I'm normal. I know what I'm talking about. Yeah. No, but a couple of the things was, for one, like, at least in the very beginning, I was really trying to impress my professors, and I think that worked really well, because honestly, dude, the professors are going to be what get you jobs, like, later. Like, those are going to be your best connections. So definitely recommend, like, actually trying it. It's insane to me when I, like, you know, like, I don't know, like, sometimes you can just tell, like, some people aren't trying, and it sucks, because, like, the professors can tell too, and, you know, they're not gonna want to hire out people who, like, don't try. I mean, there's some, like, classes you just, like, have to sacrifice, especially if you have a ton of work. Like, you know, there's only so much time in a day, which is totally fine. I tend to, like, sacrifice my CG classes for my 2D classes so that I get more portfolio pieces in those. But yeah, like, having a good relationship with my professors, like, you know, being social, being talkative, like, doing my best in those classes and always trying to, like, go above and beyond with each assignment, I think is what genuinely got me my first character design job. Or I say first, like, I've had a bunch. It's been the only job I've had, but I am, like, kind of still on it. I don't know. The whole project that I was on is in the works, so, like, can't say too much about it. But character design job, that I got directly from one of my professors, I genuinely believe is only because I tried so hard in those classes, because I actually got that job the year I had to take off in college. I know I've like told my short little timeline before, but basically I had my freshman year at college. I went back for sophomore year, but at this point my hand was hurting so bad that I was only there for 2 weeks of classes, and then I dropped out for a year-long medical leave. And then I came back after a year, did my sophomore year, and am now in my junior year. So, like, during that sophomore year, I was off. I taught myself to draw with my left hand, and then talked to one of my professors and was basically like, hey, can I have a job? Like, do you know anyone? And he was like, I actually would, like, love your style for something specific. And I got a character design job from that, and even though I was, like, injured in my right hand, I think it's only because I worked so hard in his class that I got that job the year I was off. Yeah, I don't know, like, being close with your professors, like, being friends with them, and, like, doing your best will really get you far, I promise. It's very nice. Like, I don't know, talk to them outside of class, get advice on the work you have, just be friendly, be social. I don't know, like, don't be the worst. Don't be a jerk.
Just be a decent person.
Yeah, that's basically what I'm trying to say. Thank you, Milky.
Yeah.
I'm so bad at putting things into words sometimes. Why did I start a podcast? I didn't start it. This is on you.
Oh, no.
No, I'm kidding.
You're great, sweetie.
No, yeah, but I even remember at one point, like, that same professor was, like, telling me, he was like, yeah, there's this, like, one guy in my class, and he's so talented, but he doesn't try. And I unfortunately think I know exactly who he was talking about, because there was, like, one person, he would only turn in, like, sketches, which was, like, the bare minimum for the class. Like, like, very, very bare minimum was, like, do a sketch of this thing. Or, like, I guess it was, like, draw a character like this, XYZ, blah, 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 but it would always be, like, the bare minimum. And it sucked, because he was, like, so talented. I don't know, maybe he was, like, he had a lot going on, like, outside of class and stuff, but, you know, it just didn't work out. I could tell, like, my professor was kind of disappointed, which really sucked, because, you know, like, I don't know, it's hard to put into words. I like, he's so talented, but, you know, you gotta have a good work ethic for jobs in general. I hate saying that. I sound like such a, like, grind set dude. Like, gotta have a good work ethic, but, like, I mean, not even, like, a good, like, mindset, just, like, a general, like, hey, I want to improve, I want to do good in this class type thing. So, I don't know, that's the other thing, like, college, art school specifically, can be both, like, healthy and unhealthy competition. Like, sometimes it'll, like, get to you, like, oh, I'm not as good as this person, or, like, I'm not doing as much as this person. But, like, I promise you, your professors will know exactly where you are, and they will be able to tell, like, when you are doing your best. Like, you do not have to compare to other people. And some professors are mean. Just ignore them. Like, take their advice, but if they're being, like, mean about it, like, don't take things, like,
Right.
I don't know how to, like, don't take things personally, it sounds, like, mean. But you get what I'm saying. Like, some people are just kind of mean when they, like, give critiques, which isn't right. Like, you should be decent about it, you know? But anyway, healthy competition in that, like, you know, I was talking about how I always get inspired by other creative people, like, just being surrounded by people. That's, like, healthy competition. That's, like, ooh, I want to, like, be doing the same as these people, or I want to, like, get to this level. Like, that's a healthy amount of competition. Unhealthy is, like, comparing yourself to people, or, like, I don't know, just being weird about it. I had this one person, no longer goes to my school, so I feel okay talking about this, but we had a group chat for one of our classes, and, like, our professor would do critiques in alphabetical order, and this person went, like, right after me, and, you know, like, I always tried my best, I always did really, really good, and this person was, like, every single time, every single class, would, like, put in the group chat, like, oh my god, now I have to go after Heather. I was like, girl, what are you doing, huh? I had to, like, message them, because I kept doing this so much, and be like, hey, you're making me feel kind of bad for just, like, trying. Can you stop doing
Yeah.
this?
Yeah.
And then they didn't, so I put it in the group chat, and then they stopped. Yeah, but also, like, the
Wow.
wild thing to me is they'd be like, oh my god, I have to go after Heather, and then they would, like, show traced art. I was like, girl. I
You're like, oh, you're after me, huh?
yeah, what do you even, like, do at that point? Anyway.
Right.
Anyway, yeah, so that's unhealthy competition. Don't be doing that to your classmates. Please. It doesn't help anyone. But yeah, it just weird experiences. That's like one of the downsides of art school is you might encounter some weird people, but I don't know. That's life in general. It's fine. Yeah, but like so far college has been really good, really fun. I will talk about my more in-depth opinions on whether it's like necessary or not in a second. But yeah, like so far I've been doing really good. I feel like I've learned a lot. I actually made it like a whole YouTube video, like I say recently, like earlier this year, about like everything I learned sophomore year. Shameless self-promotion, go check it out. I like that video. And it also got me my first like real art job. So that's pretty cool. That's been my experience with art school so far. Yeah. Milky, your turn.
Woo! Alrighty, so for me, I knew that I wanted to have art be my career when I was a sophomore in high school.
When I was
I transferred from my high school. Yeah. So when I was a sophomore, I transferred to community college because I knew I wanted to just get. Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, I was like, screw this. This sucks. Because like I knew what I wanted to do with my life, and I knew that starting as soon as possible would be the best for me. And I knew that the high school I was at did not have the resources I needed to grow those skills that I needed for long term. So I basically was like, I am out of here, and I am going to make my time more useful. And so I did that. I went to community college, and I had my, what is it called when you have your, I majored in, that's what it is. I majored in studio art. I was like, I studied in? Yeah, no. I majored in studio art, and I basically just threw all of my time and my degree into art because I knew I wanted to do that. So some of the classes I took were like drawing 1, drawing 2, which is usually like charcoal and graphite and stuff, and you do like, you know, still lifes and non-representational art. You do like a little bit of everything to figure out what you want to do next after that drawing 1 class. Like we had like a life drawing unit, which I did not attend because I didn't want to draw naked people because I was 16 and was like, I don't want to do that. And so, yeah. It turns out they did have like a full life drawing class, and the classes were 8 hours long.
Oh my gosh.
What the
that's insane.
Hours? But anyway, I know. But now I'm just like, man, I kind of want to do it. Yeah. I heard that they're usually like really long. But now I'm like, dang, I want to do that now.
Thankfully the longest classes I've had at my school have been like 4 hours. And dude, like by the end of those 4 hours, I am like so brain dead. I cannot imagine an 8-hour one.
Bet. Yeah, if I had more time, I'd totally be like, all right, let's do it. But yeah, when I started going to community college, I took like the basic art classes because you're required to. I took digital art and printmaking. Love you, printmaking. Praise printmaking. It's so underrated.
Real.
I took a 3D art class, which was garbage. And then because the professor was an interesting guy, he didn't seem to know what he was doing, which is, I literally went to community college to take these art classes so I could finally have professors that knew what they were doing. Because in high school, I took a graphic design class, and the teacher was a golf coach that just gave us like web links to like online lessons that were just like step by step. Here's how to use the lasso tool. Okay, you're done for the day. Like it was garbage.
I have something on that later. Remind me to talk about that when we talk about Or actually, should I just mention it now before I forget? My little ADHD brain will forget.
Go for it.
I was gonna say,
Yeah, go for it.
in tips on, like, at least choosing an art school, like, look at the professors and, like, look at their background. And, like, even with classes you're taking, like, make sure they, like, know what they're talking about to an extent, you know?
Yeah.
Because sometimes they will, like...
Ooh, rate my professor.
Yes. But, like, I swear, sometimes, like,
Yeah.
colleges will just hire, like, people who have no experience to be teachers. Like, it's a little insane, and some tea I have. I'm not gonna say, like, which schools, because I don't think I'd get sued, but, like, I don't want to get sued. I don't even want to risk it. But when I was looking into schools, there were 2 that I was looking at, and one of the ladies at, okay, I'm going to call it School A, School B, they're both art schools. The lady at School B was like, yeah, I used to be a teacher at School A, and then they told me to start, like, teaching figure drawing, and when I told them I didn't, like, know figure drawing, like, I wasn't qualified to teach that, they essentially told me, you can fake it. You can pretend you can. Yeah, like, you know, and this was, like, a college. This is, like, a professional art school.
Yeah.
And so she left and is now doing good at the other school.
Good for her.
Yeah, like, when I heard that, I was like, oh my god. Yeah, like, schools can just kind of, like, do that. So, yeah, like, I don't know. Like, there's only, like, so much you can do. Like, I'm sure, like, every school has, like, at least one professor like that or something. But,
right.
yeah, like, especially when you're choosing art schools, like, check the higher rate and check the, like, the professors. Like, make sure they're not just, like, random people that also graduated from that school or something.
Right.
Anyway, sorry. ADHD brain has been satisfied. Go for it.
All good. So for me, with my experience with quote-unquote art school, which was not art school, it was just community college, and I took art classes, I personally... There were a lot of things that I know for a fact I could have learned outside of those classes, like, because it's easily accessible online. But I know for a fact that I wouldn't have learned it the same way because I wouldn't have had, like, a master to guide me, like my professors that knew exactly what they were doing. So it was definitely very helpful and very beneficial for me. And considering I graduated community college at the same time as everyone my age was graduating from high school when I graduated community college.
That's crazy.
The timing, it was so epic. Like, the timing was perfect. No, I just dropped out. But yeah, the timing was perfect, and I got all the skills I needed and wanted. Instead of getting a bunch of other skills and like a diploma that I wasn't going to use. So for me, I found doing community college art classes to be very beneficial. And at that point, I wasn't sure if I was going to go further than that, like if I was going to go to a real college or like an art school. But I knew for a fact that I had, like, the necessary building blocks to get to art college or just a normal college. If that was what I was going to choose.
Hell yeah.
Good stuff.
And there we go. There's Milky's experience.
Wow. Yeah, it's not that extensive, but also, like, it's not...
But you still have grounds to talk
I feel like I
about
can't
it.
give...
You still have grounds to talk about it.
Yeah, it's just, like, it's not the same, you know?
You're good.
But I highly recommend people do high school dual credit with their local community college because it's such a steal. I mean, I don't know if it's like this in other places aside from Texas, but for me, if I was doing high school, I was technically homeschool dual credit, but I was considered a high school student because of my age. I got 12 free classes, which saved at least like $15,000.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, go do
I paid
dual credit.
for like
What?
2 classes.
I wish I did that.
Do it.
Oh my gosh.
No, it's insane. Like, if you know for a fact that if you know exactly what you want to do for your career, just start. Just start now.
That is good advice.
Why wouldn't you?
Slay,
you know,
Milky.
get ahead.
Slay.
No,
that's legitimately good advice. You should always start if you can. If you have the means and resources, go for it. Go chase your dreams.
Definitely.
Go chase your dreams. Woo! Okay, Milky, I know you were, like, just saying how you didn't have, like, didn't feel like you didn't have any opinions on, or didn't feel like you could talk about, like, opinions on art school.
Yeah.
But we are to that point of the video, podcast, to that part of the podcast where we're gonna talk about opinions on art school, or at least I am. And if you want to jump in at any time, you are totally welcome to, dude. You went to, like, you have
Sweet.
grounds to talk, and you can always have an outside perspective, so it is all good.
Yay!
Yippee!
Yippee!
Okay, so a couple small things before I answer the burning question: is it necessary? Is it worth it? When it comes to art school, I feel like you really get out of it what you put in, because you mentioned, like, not that long ago that, like, everything is really, like, the internet is so good when it comes to, like, learning art skills. Like, anything you really could learn at art school, you can probably also learn online. But it does really help to have that, like, in-person experience, have, like, a schedule to stick to, and, like, professors,
Definitely.
like, one-to-one talks with professors who can help you, or, like, critiques and stuff. But yeah, also, like, everything is online.
Sorry.
No, keep going.
Yeah, I definitely feel like while our school has tons of resources, depending on where you want to go in the art field, like career-wise, if you have the self-discipline to teach yourself everything, like, because all the resources are online, if you have the self-discipline, do it. Like, stick with the online stuff.
Yeah.
You save so much money. But there's so many resources online, it's insane.
There's a lot. Yeah, so, like, I personally feel like I really definitely need that schedule and that, like, one-to-one connection with people. I'm also just a very, like, extroverted person. So, dude, I don't even know what I'm gonna do when I graduate. I have to, like, not be around 100 people at a time. What am I gonna do?
Right.
But yeah, like, almost everything's online, and you really get out of it what you put in. Like, I was talking earlier about how, like, there was that one guy in one of our classes that, like, didn't really try, and so he wasn't really improving. He was kind of just turning in the bare minimum, but, like, you could tell, like, who was, like, really trying, because they would get so much better over, like, the course. Oh my gosh, dude. Like, there was this one guy that was in one of my freshman art classes, and he was, like, kind of okay. Like, you could tell, like, it was really, like, he was just getting into art. He was pretty new, which is not a bad thing by any means, which, again, goes back to healthy competition. Like, you don't want to compare yourself to others. This guy was at the start of his journey, and he was doing great for being at the start of his journey, but I left for a year, and then when I came back, he was, like, cracked. I was like, oh my gosh, dude, I feel like I, like, time skipped. Like, he's so good now. Like, he kind of, you know who Lolish is? Like, the Instagram artist? He's got, like, that style, and he's, like, really good at it, too.
That's so cool.
And, he, like, didn't even know, like, really even the basics, like, when we first started out, because he just had never been into it before, and that's totally fine. Yeah. But, yeah, you can tell, like, who really improves and, like, who's really trying. So you really get out of it.
In that blue period grind.
Yeah, you really get out of it what you put in. And then I had, like, a couple other things in my notes, like, always put your mental health, like, mental and physical health above, like, working hard. Like, work hard, but, like, don't sacrifice mental and physical health, because that's bad, and I promise that will not turn out good. Like, you know, like, one all-nighter has never, like, killed anybody, or, I don't know, maybe it has. For me, one all-nighter has never, like, hurt me that much. Like, there's a little bit of stress, like, during finals week. There always is. But I don't feel like I've ever, like, really sacrificed any mental and physical health. But, okay, well, I say that like I didn't permanently injure my hand. Okay, hold on. Okay.
Back up.
Okay, I sacrificed a bit of physical health, and that was my mistake, truly. I did forget about that one time that I did injure my hand, and it has affected me to this day. How did I... Yeah, so, like...
It happens.
Yeah, don't crazy overwork yourself or anything. Like, don't push yourself too hard. Take care of yourself. Like, watch your mental and physical health. Make sure you're good. Please. Yeah. How did I forget about my entire wrist injury for a second there?
You're like, I don't think I've ever. Wait.
I don't think I've ever done anything to harm myself.
Whoops.
Literally had to get surgery over summer. Anyway, and then I also had in my notes that if you are an artist with ADHD, try body doubling. Like, just go sit next to someone else. Like, get a friend to, like, sit next to you, be in the room while you work, and have a physical to-do list instead of, like, a to-do list on your phone. That helps me so much. Oh my gosh. Those are my 2 little, like, ADHD tips. If you are a fellow ADHDer, because I don't take medication for it, because I can't. That sounds so weird out of context. It just doesn't work for me. For some people, ADHD medicine just does not work on them. It doesn't, like, have an effect. It worked for me in high school for a bit, but as you get older, like, sometimes ADHD, like, gets more severe, or sometimes it goes away. For me, I think it's about the same, but, like, the medication I was taking in high school, like, lost its effect. So I just don't take medication for it anymore. So I've had to learn all the other little things. So body doubling definitely helps. Like, putting on headphones and, like, blasting music very much helps. Physical to-do list, little things like that. Sorry, that's a random side tangent for ADHD people. But anyway, other thing about art college, genuinely, the best thing you will get out of it in terms of your career is the connections. Like, I was talking about being social with your professors earlier. Yeah, he literally, like, that professor got me my first job, and I already know, like, they're gonna be the ones to get me jobs in the future. So yeah, like, your connections with your professors, with your other classmates and friends, like, well, not half, but, you know, like, I know a good number of people who have already, like, been hired out of college. Like, some of them are, like, really, really close friends, and those are people I could always reach out to and be like, hey, I'm looking for a job right now. Are they looking for someone? If so, can you recommend me? Like, you know, these people will be able to help you out in the future, and hopefully you'll be able to help out, like, some of your classmates in the future as well. Same with alumni, like, making connections to people who are already out in the industry. Just, yeah, connections in art school is genuinely, I think, the best thing you will get out of it, because, again, like, a lot of the stuff you can find online, and you will, like, you will only improve as much as, like, well, no, that's a weird way of putting it. I was gonna say you can only improve as much as you try. Like, I don't think that's quite right, but you get what I'm saying. Like, you'll get out what you put in. And so, like, when it comes to, is art school necessary? I think, honestly, no, but it helps a lot. It's really, really beneficial, but it's not, like, you have to go to art school to get an art job. Milky, you are a perfect example of that. You've literally got your own business. And even when it comes to, like, industry jobs, like animation, like, it's not impossible to get a job outside of it. Like, schools may give you great connections, especially a lot of art schools have, like, job fairs and stuff, and, you know, like, bigger companies, like, spokespeople will come by, like, specifically for recruitment, so you can, like, show them your portfolio and whatnot. So it does help a lot, but I know it's not impossible either. I know pretty recently, I think it was only, like, a year ago, Glenn Keane, who's, like, massive, like, animation dude, like, one of the top people in the industry, hired someone from, like, Little Mermaid fan art that he saw on Instagram. Like, someone just got a job from posting Little Mermaid fan art that this guy really, really loved the style of, and now they're, like, in the industry just from, like, Instagram fan art. So it's really not impossible. And also, I hate to say it, but the paper's useless. Like,
yeah.
Like, art degrees are, like, the one degree that is legitimately useless. Like, don't get me wrong, I love art school, and I love the people here. I am so glad I'm going here. I am learning so, so much. It is so beneficial for me. I don't know where I'd be in my career without it, but, like, the end goal that most people work towards, which is the degree, like, doesn't really mean anything in art school. A lot of people get hired out, like, before they even finish, and that's perfectly fine. I'm sure, like, it has some benefit, like, I don't know, like, if you're putting out a portfolio or, like, resume and you have that, like, degree on it, maybe it's, like, an extra little, oh, great. But, like, when it comes to an art job, like, even if you have the paper, if your work isn't good or it's not what they're looking for, then you're not going to get hired. And, like, I remember talking to someone who was like, yeah, but if it's like, if you're on the same skill level as someone else and you have that degree, then you'll get chosen. But even then, I don't think that's even necessarily true, because I think at that point, if it comes down to skill level, like beyond that, they're just going to choose based off style. Like if your style fits their project more. Which, yeah, that's another thing. You can have like not nearly as much experience as someone else, but you might have the style that someone is looking for, and you'll get hired off of that. I don't know, the art industry is like such a weird one, because you can get hired for like the silliest little things, or like have like just like the best connections, or like just a really good portfolio. Like, I don't know, there's no guidelines, there's no like right or wrong way to do it. Well, I'm sure we could find some wrong ways if we really tried, but, you know,
yeah.
But I do think art school is very, very beneficial. Like, for me, it, like, forces me to, like, or not even force, it, like, encourages me to do projects that I would have never done otherwise. Like, I really get stuff done. I love the people that I've met. And yeah, I mentioned this earlier, like, when looking at art schools, like, look at the professors, see who you're dealing with, and, like, look at the hire rate, make sure it's not, like, 0. Like, if nobody's getting hired out of college from your school, maybe don't choose that one. So, for me personally, I think it's very, very beneficial, but not necessary. So, it is honestly up to the individual on whether they actually want to go or not. So, last little thing, before that, Milky, you got anything to add?
I feel like I couldn't agree more. Like I said earlier, like there's so many resources online to help you build your craft and make your skills be as dynamic and multi-purpose as possible. Because, like I said, there's endless possibilities online to teach yourself and grow and learn from so many people, so many masters and all kinds of people online, where you don't have to have you don't have to go to a fancy college to get those resources if you just sit down and devote time to do it and truly like devote yourself to getting better. But I mean, like, you know, going to art school, it's like it definitely takes care of motivation. Like you're motivated to get good grades. You're gonna have a portfolio by the time you come out.
Motivation like a lot. Sorry, I totally just interrupted you.
No, you're good. No, you're good. And then you'll come out with a portfolio and connections. But like, if you're planning on starting a business to sell your art, you don't necessarily need to go to art school. Like, you don't need connections in art school to start your own like Etsy shop.
That is also true.
And sell your own products.
Marketing.
But like, if you're trying to get into like
marketing.
Yeah. But if you're exactly, just like go to business school or something or don't. I don't know.
I need to take like just a business class. I need a financial aid class. I am so bad with money. Oh my goodness. Anyway, that's not in the podcast. You guys didn't hear that. Whoop whoop. Minesweep. You're brainwashed.
That's crazy.
What happened? That's crazy. Are we on the SketchCast podcast?
Money. Yeah, welcome.
Money.
Welcome to episode 5 of the SketchCast pod. We just started over. It's just absolutely loops like nothing happened. But I forgot what I was saying.
Oh no! The brainwashing worked too well.
Wait, what was I saying? Business. But if you're trying to like get hired by animation studio, like going to art school and getting connections and stuff, that could be huge. Like there may be like there's gonna be opportunities you couldn't know about unless you went to art school and met the people you met.
Yeah.
So like it depends on, for me, I would say it depends on what field you're going to. It depends on where you are in your craft and how diverse you can be with your art style and different like industries you could break into. And if you have the motivation and self-discipline to attack it and go for it. So yeah, for me, I would say art school is definitely not necessary for all for all art careers. It really depends on what you want to do specifically. But like for me, for selling my art and having a shop and stuff, I didn't go to any proper school except community college. I didn't go to art school, so I'm very biased, but that's my opinion.
We're both biased in opposite directions, so it evens out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so I had I had written down like a couple little like art college tips, but honestly, it's all stuff that like we've already mentioned, like look at the professors and higher rates, be social, always put your mental and physical health over your work, like take care of yourself. I wrote down like meet professors outside of class. That actually does help a lot to like get one-on-one critiques if you can. They won't always have time, but like there's no harm in shooting an email at them.
Right.
I had like change locations and music. I think that's just for ADHD. And then like always going to like little talks that they have. That's another nice thing about art school. Like the people with good connections will have like cool people come in and talk, and like trying to meet them is always really, really cool. But yeah, those were my little art college tips that I basically had already talked about through this entire podcast, so I really didn't need to write that down. But yay, that just about sums up our podcast. But there's one last thing. Milky, Yay! I have my question for you.
Yes.
Except I don't. I haven't thought of it.
So
Give me a minute.
Oh. There's no rush. Take your time.
I'm gonna Google what's some good questions. I'm gonna type in silly questions.
Silly, goofy questions.
Silly questions for middle schoolers? Sure. 60 funny questions to ask kids to get them thinking, because they don't normally.
Help me use my brain.
Ooh, if you had a pet parrot and could teach it one phrase, what would it be?
Oh my gosh. That is such a hard question, but that's such a good question. Oh gosh. Do you have an answer?
Yeah, totally.
What?
You go first.
I'm still thinking. Oh, okay. Do you have an answer? Yeah, for sure. But you go first.
I'd probably just teach it a swear word, honestly.
You'd be like, he's the sweetest little thing, and he's just like...
Or teach it, like, a date and time.
Like a sailor.
I would teach it, like, a date and time in the future to, like, tell at people. Like, imagine...
That reminds me of a Twitter thread I'll have to send you.
Yeah, like imagine, like, you've... POV, you visit my house. I have a pet parrot, as I do.
Yeah.
It's silent the whole time. I leave the room briefly to get you a cup of water or something. I don't know. Do I have running water? Possibly. Yeah. Probably. Hopefully.
Hopefully.
In this economy, you sit there in the living room. The parrot looks at you. Suddenly, the parrot speaks. November 15th, 2025, 11:45 p.m. What do you do?
Oh no. I marked that date and time on my calendar.
And then fear for the next year.
Yeah. What do we?
Or just tell it to teach it to be like, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Why am I only thinking of ways to like cause people distress?
I mean, like, yeah, I'd probably teach my bird how to like wake me up. That'd be sick. Like, there's like a light that goes off, and then he's like, and he's just like, he sounds exactly like an alarm clock.
So,
or maybe I could teach my bird how to meow, and then I'll tell people I used to have a cat, and it died, and now it's haunting my house. And my bird will just meow.
That's actually really good.
Yeah, that's my answer.
Woo! That was a good answer. That was way better than mine.
That was a good question. No, yours was fire. Yours was funny.
Well, that concludes it for our little SketchCast podcast, episode 5. Let's go! We made it all the way to 5 episodes without any insane disasters so far.
Literally. I don't know how we did it.
You want to sign us off, Milky?
Can I?
Yes. Oh, wait. Have we even dropped our socials yet? I don't think we have. I'm KO. You can find me at Here Comes KO on every single platform.
And I'm Milky Tomato. You can find me through @milky.tomato on Instagram and TikTok and pretty much everywhere.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. This concludes episode 5 of SketchCast Podcast. Thank you for being here. And if you're watching on YouTube, please comment and let us know what you'd like to see from us for our future episodes. And have a wonderful day. And thank you for listening. And have fun with art.
Heck yeah.
Have fun on your art journey.
Woo!
We love you so much. Thank you for your support. Bye-bye.
November 15th, 2025, 11:45 p.m. All right, bye.